You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Coming up, a woman is forced to confront her past in Netflix's adaptation of Luckiest Girl Alive.
Also, Bass Pro Shop pledges to make things right for those who had problems at the Garth Brooks concert.
And we've got a few isolated showers out there. We'll see a few more of them through the day. And then we're looking at even better rain chances after that. We'll talk about all of it coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. A Webb City police officer wounds a dog after the animal charges him during a burglary investigation. On Monday, the Webb City Police Department responded to a burglary and assault in progress call. Officers were told a 43-year-old man had kicked in the rear door of the residence, assaulted the resident, and then took 2 of the 3 dogs before fleeing in a vehicle. While conducting their investigation, the 3rd dog left at the residence and charged at a neighbor before charging at an officer. Officer discharged his weapon and injured the dog. The dog was later euthanized due to its injuries. The officer was treated by emergency medical services, and that suspect is still at large at this time. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitz signs farm relief bill for emergency drought relief. The bill appropriates $20 million to the Emergency Drought Relief Fund to help Oklahoma farmers and ranchers overcome challenges created by this year's extreme drought conditions. In a statement, he writes, "This year's extreme drought conditions have created unprecedented challenges for our agricultural producers. And as governor, I will always do everything I can to support Oklahoma's great farmers and ranchers. I am proud to have partnered up with the legislature to deliver this much needed relief." House Bill 1006 went into effect immediately upon the governor's signature. The Wyandotte Police Department is getting to know its community better. The department hosted its annual Night Out event. It was a block party with food, exhibitors, music, giveaways, and a chance for residents to get to know their first responders better.
Well, some people are leery of the police, and this gives them a chance to get to know them. So they're not, if something happens to them or something bad, they know that they can contact the cops, and it won't be as scary for them.
Night Out event hosted by Wyandotte Police and happened at the Heritage Acres Park. On Tuesday, the Joplin Fire Department conducted a routine training. The training consisted of 12 firefighters who ran different search and rescue drills, ventilation, and access training. Training Chief Cannon says training builds confidence.
The more confident we are in our skills and the faster we can get the job done, whether it's putting out the fire or rescuing somebody that's still stuck inside of a house, the better we are at our craft, the faster we are.
The department holds a routine training once a month. Bass Pro Shops is apologizing to fans who had problems at the Garth Brooks concerts near Branson, and they say things will be made right. Only a handful of shuttles were running while thousands of people waited for hours in a parking area. Bass Pro says an outside company was hired to pull off these concerts. ASM Global also has an agreement with FEMA, and FEMA took most of the shuttles to help with the hurricane aftermath in Florida. Bass Pro spokesperson says they suddenly lost most of their shuttles and had to scramble to find some on Friday. Garth Brooks took the stage later than scheduled.
He actually delayed starting until we got more people into the venue. So we will know exactly what time that ticket was scanned, and absolutely, if you were just there for the last song or something like that, absolutely we want to make it right with people.
Is that your word?
Yes.
To get a refund, you need to contact Ticketmaster. On Tuesday, a few fans did get a refund for their parking at the concert. Folks in Miami, Oklahoma showed their appreciation to area first responders with a lunch yesterday. That lunch is part of a First Responders Appreciation Day and took place in the Sacred Heart Catholic Church parking lot. On the menu, hot dogs, chips, soda, and water.
You know, it's simple as saying a thank you or you know, just waving at us or, you know, something like that. We hold that very dear to our hearts.
And our very own Chris Warner was there at the event as well. The lunch went from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Electric cars can be a sustainable way of reducing greenhouse gas emissions, but making electric cars from sustainable materials is a double-edged sword in the fight to reduce climate change. Jackie Ibinez has a special look at the electric cardboard cars that could be dominating the roadways in just a few years.
Cars made from cardboard. It sounds far-fetched, but French automaker Citroën says it's the way of the future, revealing its latest electric car model called Ollie, which promises to help combat the ongoing climate crisis.
We have to manage the climate global warming. In the meantime, families still need to be mobile and to have this freedom of mobility.
The roof, pickup bed, and hood are all made from a special honeycomb cardboard reinforced with a plastic coating. They're all lighter than the same parts on traditional vehicles without compromising strength.
We could climb all together on the roof without any issue.
Another aim at making Ollie more sustainable? Officials say they reduced unnecessary features typical in cars.
Some features are used less than 2% of the time. So we said, okay, how can we reduce to what is really necessary for day-to-day life with our customers? And doing that, we reduce the number of electronic boards, the number of features that may be not completely useful.
This helps reduce the amount of electricity the cars consume. The windows also open manually, and the windshield is vertical instead of tilted, reducing the car's internal temperature.
Less parts, less weight, less impact on the planet.
Officials say Ollie can last for about 50 years and can be recycled at the end of its life. Ollie is expected to go on sale by 2030 for a price of around $25,000. Jackie Ibinez, Fox News.
Well, we've got a little weather to talk about, but before we get to the forecast, we want to talk about what happened on this day in weather history. And back in 1893, on the southeast coast of Louisiana, a 22-foot storm surge was brought by the Grand Isle hurricane, and it killed more than 2,000 people. Thankfully, nothing like that going on right now. And of course, in our area, we're watching the isolated showers in southeast Kansas, and they'll persist through the day. Most of us dry, but all of us getting in on some cloud activity associated with this system that stretches from now in western Wisconsin all the way back down into west central Oklahoma. Here locally, we've got clear skies in Joplin. You can see a few building clouds out there, and they'll continue to increase through the day. 56 in the city of Joplin right now, 61 Iola, Yates Center, and Chanute, 56 Parsons, 57 Columbus, and 58 in Neosho. If you're out commuting on the road, the camera at 36 and range line from MoDOT shows traffic starting to pick up, and we do have a yellow light for today because of those isolated showers, and they'll start building in through more of the area by late this morning. They'll taper off around 4 o'clock, still holding on to that yellow light though for those slick spots, and then some good news, will be mostly cloudy after that, which means you don't have the sun staring you right in the face on your drive home. Allergy sufferers, good news as well. 5.1 out of 12 on the pollen count today, 4.6 out of 12 for tomorrow. Now, as we go through the rest of today, again, isolated showers, most of us dry, all of us pretty much mostly cloudy. We'll hit a high of 83 degrees. Clouds will begin to clear out late tonight, early tomorrow morning. We'll drop back down to a low of 54. And looking into the weekend, we're watching increasing shower and thunderstorm chances. 75 Saturday, 79 on Sunday. And we'll take a look at those chances here on the future track. As we head into the weekend, you can see they'll be isolated to scattered shower and thunderstorm chances. And then as we head into the start of next week, you can see there's a few more of them come Monday, Tuesday, and possibly even some lingering early Wednesday before they start to clear out. And there's another thing that they do, and that's with our temperatures. And that's the great part here. So we warm up again tomorrow, mostly clear, 83. Cooling down Friday. Rain chances pick up. We warm up at the start of next week back into the lower 80s again. But then after the rain chances clear out, our temperatures become much more fall-like as they drop back down into the lower 70s for afternoon highs. That means our overnight lows start to get more seasonable too as they drop back down into the 40s. Well, coming up, we're going to meet a woman who was diagnosed with cancer while pregnant and how the overturning of Roe v. Wade affected her.
And later, to help cement the fact that it is indeed the spookiest time of the year, some horror icons sit down with Ashley Dvorkin to talk classic horror and more. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. In Health Watch this morning, some doctors are warning about the dangers for women's health now that Roe v. Wade has been overturned, and that includes women facing cancer who could be impacted by the decision. Serena Marshall has more.
Diana Mock couldn't wait to share the news. She was expecting her second child, but at 11 weeks, doctors discovered she had acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
They told me that if I didn't start treatment really soon, that I would most likely have max 8 weeks to live.
A practicing Mormon, Diana faced terminating her pregnancy or jeopardizing her own health.
My doctors, they said, you don't have to have an abortion. However, if you start treatment, you will miscarry. And if you miscarry because of your medical situation, it could be fatal.
According to the Guttmacher Institute, 13 states are enforcing total abortion bans, while others are enforcing bans from 6 to 20 weeks. Dr. Shika Jain says she's concerned when a mother's life is in danger, what will qualify as a medical emergency.
It happens more often than you would think, where you're undergoing cancer treatment and you find out that you're pregnant. We're seeing physicians who are waiting for lawyers to tell them whether it's appropriate in order to decide what type of medical treatment to give these patients.
The Biden administration says it will vigorously protect women's rights to essential health care and that emergency medical care under federal law includes abortion services. But some states are challenging that in court. For Diana Mock, she chose to terminate the pregnancy.
I just had this overwhelming feeling that an abortion was the right decision, and that I needed to make it in order to live.
And says the loss is never far from her heart. Serena Marshall, CBS News, Washington.
About 1 in every 1,000 pregnant women is diagnosed with cancer, and that's according to the American Cancer Society.
A look at the MoDOT camera at 36th and Range Line in Joplin. You can see traffic starting to pick up. We also have some rain chances picking up as well in our future. We're going to talk about that and another big cool down when the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 returns. Halloween season has started, and for those seeking some scary movies to kick things off, we talk with stars of the genre about favorite classics and upcoming frightening films on the way. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
Stars famous for on-screen scares at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights revealed movies which got them into this genre in the first place.
Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, The Shining with Jack Nicholson.
I saw Poltergeist, and I saw the little girl with her hands on the TV, and I'm a little girl watching a little girl with her hands on the TV, and I didn't know that art and entertainment could create such a strong response. And then I was like a little tiny addict. I went in to find that in everything I could.
Insidious Films built an audience by building a universe.
Once you've joined the club with that, you want to see what's going to happen next.
Characters like Chucky entertain for generations.
The whole Child's Play, it draws in a new audience every year.
Don't make me come back there.
He has this sense of humor, and it's really hard to keep it together on set. We hear a lot of Chucky improvising.
Halloween Ends producer Jason Blum says new ideas are key to franchise favorites returning.
How is it being reimagined? So if we were going to do Friday the 13th, the question is, what would excite me about doing it today? So with Halloween, David Gordon Green came up with what I thought was a great way to honor the original movies but reinvent.
Jamie Lee Curtis notes it's also all about the fans.
I feel like it's something so terrifying and sentimental at the same time.
That's a lovely way of talking about it. Incredibly sentimental, very emotional. I've been looking at some of the behind-the-scenes footage that they're going to release as content. I'm also then excited because we make it for the fans. We don't make it for ourselves, we make it for the fans. And the fans are, I think, going to be very happy.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Absolutely fascinating horror movies out there and some great ones coming up. I've mentioned before my wife, she absolutely loves the horror genre, and anytime there's a new one that comes out, we make sure we go see it at the theater. So if you've got a favorite horror movie, make sure you get out to see it, or if it's already been out for a while, make sure you rewatch it. Now, taking a look at our forecast today, you can see a few increasing clouds on our tower cam at 7th and Range Line. That's ahead of a system bringing some isolated showers in the area. We're 56 degrees in Joplin right now. We've got 61 Yates Center, 60 Fredonia and Independence, 56 Parsons, 58 Neosho, and 51 in Monette. This is the MoDOT camera looking at 36th and Range Line in in Joplin. If you've got some commuting to do through the morning, we have a yellow light for some of those isolated showers. Could be some slick spots on the road. Most of us, though, will remain dry. We hold on to that yellow light into this evening as we'll hold on to some isolated shower chances through about 4 o'clock or so. And then we'll be mostly cloudy after that, which is good news because that means you won't have the sun blinding you as much as it has been here lately on your drive home today. Allergy sufferers, good news for you as well. Pollen count 5.1 out of 12 today, drops to a 4.6 out of 12 tomorrow, and it is forecast to continue to go down over the next several days. In fact, the forecast I looked at brings the pollen count down to a 1.6 in about 4 days or so. Going through today, isolated showers. Again, most of us stay dry, but there will be some slick spots out there. 83 for the afternoon high, otherwise mostly cloudy. We'll stay mostly cloudy for the first part of the evening. We start to clear out with an overnight low of 54 degrees. Watching increasing shower and thunderstorm chances through the weekend. 75 Saturday, 79 on Sunday. Warmer where we should be, but again, much more comfortable in what we've seen. And we'll have a few more clouds come Sunday. Here's the future track. So the showers clear out today, and then as we head into the weekend, we start to watch those isolated shower and thunderstorm chances. They become a bit more scattered heading into Sunday. And then as we start the week off, we have a few more numerous shower and thunderstorm chances. The overall chances are still somewhat low, but as you can see, there's a more widespread opportunity for them across the area. And the 7-day forecast shows this. We warm up again tomorrow, 83, mostly clear. Cool off Friday to 73. Rain chances build in all the way through Tuesday of next week, and we'll warm up again back into the lower 80s. But look at the 10-day. After the rain clears out, we become very fall-like. Temperatures drop back into the lower 70s with partly cloudy skies. We are back with more right after this.
It's time to honor today's four-state hero, Major Barry Manley. The Edna, Kansas native served from 2004 to 2006 as part of the 891st Engineer Battalion in Iraq. This decorated veteran earned the Meritorious Service Medal, 2 Army Achievement Medals, and 6 Army Commendation Medals. To Major Barry Manley, we thank you, today's four-state hero.
Well, the best-selling novel, Luckiest Girl Alive, has been turned into a movie and is headed to Netflix this Friday.
Mila Kunis leads the mystery thriller as a woman on top of the world until dark secrets from her past threaten to ruin the life she's built.
Fox's Ashley Dvorkin here again with the story.
I'm this close to the life no one thought I deserved.
Mila Kunis produced and stars in the Netflix thriller Luckiest Girl Alive. She plays Ani, an established magazine editor with a seemingly perfect life, forced to confront her traumatic past of being sexually assaulted and surviving a school shooting.
Whether it's trauma or incidents or things that happen in our life that cause us to fork into a direction, this movie showcases that fork, that incident, and everything that happens with it. It has 2 very traumatic experiences that unfortunately define who Ani is in the future.
A huge part of our film is that she changes so much over the course of the story.
The film is a labor of love for author Jessica Knoll, who wrote the screenplay based on her 2015 best-selling debut novel, loosely based on her life.
It's not just a matter of speaking your mind, but of even realizing that you have something to share, you have a perspective to share, and it's okay for you to do that, to even find what it is you need to say.
Knoll's presence on set helped the cast navigate through difficult scenes.
We talked about the why together. We talked about the what's the purpose of this? What's the desire of this? And we had the same thoughts.
She was willing to share a little bit about her own story with me, and it really kind of guided me on, a journey with Ani and this film as a whole.
Sometimes I feel like a wind-up doll.
The film is currently playing in theaters and will be available to stream Friday. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
It looks like an absolutely interesting movie, so it's something I'm looking forward to.
Definitely a thriller there.
Of course, it'll be on Netflix again this Friday. And it comes just in time for some increasing rain chances as well. Now, right now this morning, you can see on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, we've got some isolated showers out there in southeast Kansas, and that's kind of what we'll look at through most of the day today is isolated showers. So most of us are going to remain dry as this system pushes on through the area. 7th and range line, whoa, it's one too many button presses. Got an absolutely beautiful sunrise, but as you can see in Joplin, a few more clouds starting to pop up, and that'll continue to be the trend. 56 is where we are in the city. We've got 61 Chanute, 57 Parsons, 52 Miami and Neosho, and 56 as we start the day in Lamar. For those of you traveling, this is the MoDOT camera at 36 and range line. We do have a yellow light for some slick spots with those isolated showers. showers. Otherwise, again, most of us staying dry. Decent temperatures, decent sky conditions. Mostly cloudy after 4 when these showers start to clear out, which means the sun won't necessarily be right in your face on the drive home. Allergy sufferers, good news as well, as pollen count drops to 5.1 out of 12 today, 4.6 out of 12 tomorrow, and the forecast shows it going as low as a 1.6 later this week. 83 with some of those scattered showers, otherwise mostly cloudy skies. Clouds will begin to gradually clear out overnight, leaving us with a low of 54 degrees. And a look at the 7-day forecast shows us this: 83 tomorrow, mostly clear. Then we watch the increasing rain chances all the way through Tuesday of next week. We get a brief cool down, 73 Friday, 70s through the weekend, and then 81 Monday, 83 Tuesday. And then after the rain clears out by Tuesday, look at this. Partly cloudy skies, very fall-like temperatures as we drop back into the lower 70s. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Our state's most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. A Southwest Missouri man is dead following a crash in Neosho. Authorities say just past 7 Tuesday morning, they responded to a crash at HH and US 60. They say a tractor trailer was traveling east when it T-boned a pickup truck going into the intersection. They pronounced 77-year-old Everett Harrison of Granby dead at the scene. The passenger of the pickup has serious injuries, and the driver of the semi was not injured. Authorities in Ottawa County, Oklahoma, searched for 3 inmates who escaped from the county jail. According to the Ottawa County Jail, investigation reveals 4 inmates were inside one of the dorm-style pods. There were contractors working in the rec yard of that pod. They say a door was open for the contractors, and once the inmates got to the north doors, they pushed the jailers out of the way and ran out the door. 1 inmate was caught shortly after. His name is Rusty Reese. 3 still remain at large, and those inmates are Daniel Zajizek, Tyler Tavis, and Buck Martindale. Authorities say all 3 should be considered armed and dangerous. If you have any information about their location, you're asked to call 911. In a separate incident, authorities in Ottawa County arrest 1 person following a shooting Tuesday afternoon. Officers were called to a location at County Roads 680 and 475 to assist Ottawa County deputies. Authorities say the suspect is an 84-year-old man. 2 victims were injured. 1 victim was his son, who was shot twice. The other was his wife, who was shot in the arm. Both are in the hospital and are in stable condition. Authorities say it is not related to the escaped inmates. On Tuesday, the Joplin Fire Department conducted a routine training. The training consisted of 12 firefighters who ran different search and rescue drills, ventilation and access training. Training Chief Mark Cannon says training builds confidence.
The big objective was to exercise our rescue group skills. Secondary to that, guys are working on ventilation, ventilating a roof, creating a secondary door from a window, self-rescue, things like that.
The department holds a routine training once a month. Well, folks in Miami, Oklahoma show their appreciation area first responders with a lunch. Lunch is part of the First Responders Appreciation Day and took place in Sacred Heart Catholic Church parking lot. On the menu, hot dogs, chips, soda, and water.
You know, it's simple as saying a thank you or you know, just waving at us or, you know, something like that. We hold that very dear to our hearts.
The lunch went from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. City of Pittsburgh now has some more color. On Tuesday, volunteers with Pittsburgh Beautiful planted fall mums around the town. Locations include the 20th Bypass Welcome, the East 4th Street Welcome, Walnut Island, and a corner at Miners Memorial. Organizers say the flowers add a little life to areas of town that people see often.
Folks drive, especially through downtown Pittsburgh, they're definitely going to notice our big, beautiful concrete urns, and they're always filled with seasonal color, seasonal greens. Even at Christmas, they're filled with greenery and bows.
Volunteers planted a total of 61 flowers yesterday. Well, if you're ever on the go and want to still be able to watch our newscast live, just download the KOAM Plus app. It's available free of charge on the app store of your choice. Just search for KOAM Plus. Well, this morning we're discussing schools allowing mental health days. For the second school year in a row, students return to class with COVID-19 as part of their routine, and not every child has coped well. According to the CDC, emergency room visits for suspected suicide attempts increased during the pandemic. Some parents say children's mental health has to be taken seriously. 12 states provide mental health days for students, including Maine and Connecticut.
That brings us to our question for you. Do you think that mental health days are good for students? You can vote yes or no. 58% of you say yes, 42% say no. Make sure you vote through our website, through the app, and take part in discussion on our Facebook page. And we've just received some breaking news this morning. The second of the 4 escaped Ottawa County inmates has now been captured. It's Tyler Travis is now in custody, but they are still looking for the other 2. And as Tanya mentioned, they are considered armed and dangerous. So do be on the lookout. Notify authorities if you see either of the other 2. But again, Tyler Travis now in custody in Ottawa County. As for our weather, we've got showers out there in southeast Kansas. They're isolated. They're going to remain isolated. Most of us will be dry today, but you can see they're part of a system extending from western Wisconsin all the way back down into the panhandle of Texas this morning. Here locally, though, clouds, as you can see, continue to increase at 7th and Range Line, and so do the birds as they just go flying by there. We've got a decent day starting off, 56 so far, but again, the clouds will increase throughout the day for all of us. 62 Yates Center, 57 Parsons, 55 Columbus, and 52 in Neosho. If you got some commuting to do this morning, 36 in Range Line, the MoDOT camera there shows the traffic is increasing. We got a yellow light for some of those showers, could cause some slick spots. We hold on to the yellow light in this afternoon as the showers will be wrapping up around 4 o'clock. Again, most of us dry, but some scattered showers out there nonetheless. Otherwise, we're mostly cloudy after the rain, which will help with the sunset. Allergy sufferers, we've got good news for you as well as the pollen counts are dropping. 5.1 out of 12 today, 4.6 out of 12 for tomorrow. Going through the rest of today, again, isolated showers, most of us dry, will be 83 degrees and mostly cloudy as the day progresses. Clouds will gradually clear out tonight. We'll be mostly clear to start tomorrow morning and 54 for an overnight low. And then look at the 7-day forecast. It's still warm tomorrow, 83 and mostly clear. Then the system brings our temperatures down, 73 Friday, 70s into the weekend, and that's where we see increasing shower and thunderstorm chances heading into the start of the next work week. We also warm back up into the lower 80s, albeit briefly, because after the rain clears out, we drop into the lower 70s for highs with overnight lows in the 40s, which that's cold compared to what we've seen, but this is right where we should be, and we're getting some much needed rain out of all of this as well. Not a ton of rain, but there's some rain, it's going to fall, and it's definitely going to be something that we need. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 coming right up. Again, we have some breaking news this morning. The second of 4 of the Ottawa County inmates that escaped yesterday is in custody. That's Tyler Travis that's been captured. That's, again, the second of the 4 that escaped yesterday, now in custody in Ottawa County. Authorities are continuing to search for the other 2. Well, the people of Frost, Minnesota came together to support a local farmer harvest his yearly crop. Reporter Aaron Stuve has more.
In mid-August, Scott Legreed of Frost was injured in an accident. Legreed is a farmer, and his bean crop has reached its harvest time, but Legreed is still physically unable to tend to his crops himself. Not wanting a neighbor and friend to fall flat, the Greater Frost community came together Tuesday to lend their neighbor a hand, harvesting Legreed's entire crop on his behalf.
Got a list of farmers from Scott that said that they had already offered to help him take crops out. So I got on the phone and called all the farmers, and we had a good turnout here today. They brought trucks and combines and grain wagons, and it's a good deal for Scott.
This isn't the first time the Frost community came together to help one of their own. The community responded again 11 years ago when Legreed's father passed away. Friends and neighbors have made a habit out of helping one another, and Legreed hopes that it acts as a lesson to others who may be in need.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. If you need help for anything in your life, and somebody offers it, willingly, there's a reason why they offered it to you. They care about your well-being and they want to do good for you.
Overall, 18 community members gathered for a harvest lunch, then took a fleet of combines and trucks out to the field to get the work done. Community members say that they've come together to help someone who couldn't be more deserving.
He would do this for somebody else in a heartbeat, so he's just that kind of a guy that we just felt we needed to do this for him.
We are watching some isolated showers out in southeast Kansas as they start to roll through the area. Most of us will remain dry. All of us will become mostly cloudy. We'll have more in your forecast right after this. Well, we're watching the cloud cover increase in Joplin ahead of this little system that's coming in, bringing some isolated showers to the area. Most of us dry today, but some of us getting at least a little rain. 56 in Joplin right now. We have 57 Pittsburgh, 59 Fort Scott, 61 Iola, and 52 in Miami as we start the day. As you start your morning commute, this is the MoDOT camera looking at 36 in range line in Joplin. Got a yellow light for some of those isolated showers that could cause some slick spots out there. We hold on to the yellow light going into the evening. At 4 o'clock, showers to be on their way out, and then we'll be left with mostly cloudy skies to help block the sun from your eyes. Allergy sufferers, great news here too as pollen counts drop 5.1 out of 12 today, 4.6 out of 12 for tomorrow. As we go through the rest of today, we're looking at a high of 83 degrees, mostly cloudy. Again, most of us dry, but a few spotty showers out there. Heading into tonight, we're going to be clearing out and dropping to a low of 54 degrees. And as we look at the 7-day forecast, you can see we're still warm tomorrow, 83, mostly clear, and then we drop back into the 70s for a few days. We watch increasing shower and thunderstorm chances heading into the weekend and into the start of next week. Now, we warm up into the lower 80s, but after the rain clears out, we settle into a very, very fall-like pattern for a few days, with highs in the lower 70s. In Consumer Watch this morning, we've got some information on the tech giant Apple as they're being accused of employee discrimination. National Labor Relations Board has reportedly filed a complaint against the company, claiming it discriminated against employees at its World Trade Center store. The investigation was spurred by charges filed in May by the Communications Workers of America, union working with organizers at Apple retail stores in New York, Atlanta, and Oklahoma. The NLRB's complaint alleges that Apple wouldn't let workers put union flyers on a break room table, even though it allowed other solicitations and notices there. One of the most famous brands of canned pressed meat is on track for an 8th straight year of record sales. That's right, Spam is cool again. The 85-year-old product has been undergoing a cultural reinvention and seeing record sales for the past 7 years in a row. Hormel says it can't make Spam fast enough and is boosting production capacity. It's a trending ingredient on TikTok and on menus at fine dining restaurants in some cities. In 2019, it jumped on the pumpkin spice bandwagon with a limited edition flavor selling out in minutes. Well, Crocs is giving away thousands of free pairs of its clogs to celebrate its 20th anniversary. I can't believe they've been around that long. It's all part of its Free Pair for All Croctober daily shoe giveaway set to run now through Friday, October the 7th. To participate, you must join the Crocs Club. It's free and opt in for emails. Crocs were first released in 2002, and this I remember well. The shoe brand got a resurgent bump during the coronavirus pandemic. Company reported record annual revenue of $2.3 billion in 2021. It was up a whopping 67% over 2020. We've got more after this, but first, let's take a look at those market prices before the opening bell.
In Illinois, a Stranger Things themed Halloween display in front of a Plainfield home is now closed after a neighbor voiced concerns about it.
Evelyn Holmes has the story.
Things just got stranger for the suburban Plainfield Halloween display of the same name after complaints from a lone neighbor forced the creators of the house haunt to close it for now.
Everyone seemed okay with it until they weren't.
Paying homage to the popular Netflix series, Appel dreamed up the spooky seasonal setup displayed in their front yard. It replicates a scene from the show and features a lifelike mannequin dressed as the character Max Mayfield appearing to hover in mid-air.
It was just really cool. We saw it on TikTok. We just thought it was so cool that you couldn't see any wires or anything.
The family says the video of the display they posted on TikTok not only got more than 14 million views, with everyone wondering what's keeping Max afloat, but also some unwanted attention from one neighbor who at first they said was okay with their display when they asked for permission to put it up.
It's upsetting, to be told we support you, we're behind you, we understand why you're doing this, and to have that blow up in your faces.
Possibly angered by the crowds and the popularity of the display, the family says that one neighbor has accused them of bringing negative attention to the neighborhood, endangering the community's children, and making the neighborhood a target of possible home invasions because of all the spectators. Other people who live here don't agree.
It's just all families coming out to see such an amazing setup.
The Stranger Things Halloween display remains shuttered for now.
Interesting.
It's still there, though.
Well, okay, in that video it is, but I suspect maybe they're taking some of it
Maybe
down.
they took Max down.
I don't know. Well, the family says they didn't mean to cause a fuss. They were just looking to have some fun.
Well, they plan to talk with city officials to figure out what they can do to reopen the display.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they can figure it out because it looks pretty cool. Like, I kind of get, like, the concern about the extra traffic and stuff, but I think some of those other concerns are a little unwarranted. It's like that other neighbor said, it's just families driving through to see something really cool. I don't think...
The neighbors should jump in on the fun and, like, have their own little displays or things. They're going to get extra people.
All the neighbors that didn't complain need to set up really cool displays like that.
They
just
could set
take
up,
over.
like, spooky lemonade stands or something.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds like a great idea. All right, so we do have some weather to talk about across the area as well. Now, we're watching clouds move into Joplin. They'll continue to increase through the day. This is our 7th and range line tower camera. Temperature is 56 degrees, so a little bit mild as we start this day. And we've got mild temperatures across, 62 Yates Center, 57 Parsons, 57 Carthage, 52 Neosho, a little cooler down south, 48 Anderson and Grove. Commuting today, this is the MoDOT camera looking at 36th and range line in Joplin. We do have a yellow light for some of those isolated showers we may see. Again, most of us will be dry, but they could cause some slick spots later this morning across the area. And they'll be isolated, but hanging on through about 4 o'clock. And then we have mostly cloudy skies, which is nice, so the sun won't be right in your face on the way home. That's mostly cloudy, which means the sun could still peek out here and there. Allergy sufferers, good news too. 5.1 out of 12 on the pollen count today, 4.6 out of 12 for tomorrow. Our forecast for today, aside from the isolated showers, we're going to be mostly cloudy with a high of 83. Clouds will eventually clear out overnight. We'll drop back down to a low of 54 degrees. And 7-day forecast, we're still warm tomorrow, 83 mostly clear. Then look behind me, Friday drops to 73. We watch increasing shower and thunderstorm chances as we head through the weekend and into the start of the next week. We also warm back up into the lower 80s, but on the 10-day, after the rain clears out, we drop to fall-like weather, partly cloudy and lower 70s. We're back with more after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. It's been 1 week since Hurricane Ian hit Florida. Search and rescue teams are still combing through the destruction. More than 100 people have died from Hurricane Ian. Power officials say it'll be more than a month before some customers have their service restored. President Biden is visiting Fort Myers today to meet with local officials, families, and first responders. Aaron Judge is the home run king of the American League. The New York Yankees slugger hit his 62nd home run on Tuesday night off of Texas Rangers pitcher Jesus Tinoco. Now, Judge passes Roger Maris's record that was set in 1961. It's the most homers for any ball player since 2001 during the so-called steroid era. And Russia's defense minister says the military has called up 200,000 reservists and has begun training them as part of its partial mobilization to support its war against Ukraine. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he will no longer negotiate after Russia's fraudulent annexation of several regions.
Isolated showers for some of us through the day. Most of us will remain dry, 83 and mostly cloudy otherwise. Clouds clear out tonight and will eventually drop back down to a low of 54 degrees. 7-day forecast, though, shows us where we have increasing rain chances heading into the weekend and the start of next week. We drop to the 70s briefly, warm back up to the lower 80s as we kick off the next work week.
All right, well, teachers deserve to be celebrated every day, but especially on World Teachers Day.
It's observed on October 5th, and it honors teachers and teacher organizations who make vital contributions to the education and development of our future leaders. As teachers work so hard to prepare students for the future, it's more important than ever to recognize the difficult job they do.
To observe World Teachers Day, the best thing you can do is thank a teacher who made or is making a positive impact on your life. So students, parents, and others this day and every day, be sure to give them the praise they deserve.
Of course, we were talking about this earlier. I've got a long list of favorite teachers. I know you do as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to just pick one sometimes, and that's great. And hopefully other students have that experience too, where your list of favorite teachers is too long to just narrow down to one single teacher.
Yeah, and I was going through my list and I was just thinking of all the, specifically things that I remembered about each teacher and what they helped me with,
Yeah.
Miss Steele taught me how to read. Mrs. Stoker taught me how to write cursive, something that I don't even know if all schools teach anymore.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I had too many phenomenal teachers to list here. I mean, there was not a shortage of them in Joplin. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. You know what? It was so much fun. We're going to be back with more news and weather at noon.
That's right. Have a great morning and an even better day.